Hi, I'm Jake, and today we're going to make a 3D sharpening station. Here we go. The last video I did, I flattened this piece of cherry, and as much as I like CNC, I also like messing with hand tools, and I'm interested in all that kind of stuff, so I'm going to make this into a sharpening station, and we're going to do a 3D. It's going to look cool. We're going to go to the computer and do that. If you don't like the computer work, then I'll put a timestamp right here, and you can skip all the computer work and go straight to the action. There's nothing left to do but to design this thing, so here we go. Here we are at the home screen of Aspire, and I've done this a little bit differently on this video. I went through all the headache of figuring all this stuff out myself. I made the project. Now I'm going to go back and give you an explanation of how I came about doing it. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a file here, stone holes, and I really haven't done anything yet, but we'll set up the job dimensions. It's single-sided. It's 10 by 30.3 quarters by 2 3/4. The Z0 is going to be on the material surface right here. We're going to go to the center of the project for our X and Y, and that's all we need to do there. We're going to hit OK. And basically what I'm going to show you right here is how I make the rectangles for the stones to sit in, and all you do is you grab your rectangle tool and then you get your measurements, and that first one is 8.2, and the Y on that is 3.155, and we'll create it. There it is down there. So we're just going to grab it and put it up here somewhere, and we'll get this little tool right here, and then we can center it on there. We can center it every which way, but we don't want to do that. I want it, this is going to be for that big stone, so I want it to be on this side. That's how I have it situated. And then make sure that it's centered left to right. We just hit this one right here. Boom. And there you go. Now you're going to do that 5 more times for the other 5 items we need to sit in there. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And that's what it looks like right there. And so since I'm cutting on a $60 piece of wood, I wanted to test this stuff out first. So what I did was I made all of these to the particular sizes, how I did it, how I just showed you on that first one, and just situated them how I wanted to. And then we'll come over here to Toolpaths. Here's the pocket toolpath that I made, and all I did was go down 1/4 of an inch. I used 1/4 of an inch end mill, and that's what I was going to use on the project itself too. So that's it. So we're going to close this and look at this toolpath here. We're going to preview the toolpath. Boom. So what I did was I took this out there and I cut this on MDF, because MDF is cheap and cherry is expensive. So, and it's a good thing I did, because I had some of these too tight, and I just adjusted the numbers on the squares a little bit, and there you go. So that's what we came up with on that. And now let's come back here, and now this one we need to do a pocketing toolpath on that. And I need this in particular pocket to be 1.250, and still the end mill, same everything, and we're gonna do that. Calculate, and so there we go. So now you do that for each of the other ones. So let's say here, right here, we're going to go to each one of these and put the depth in, and so you're going to end up with come over here. This is the final project, so we're going to end up with 6 individual tool paths, one for each pocket, and I have them numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just so I wouldn't get confused. And that's the order I'm going to use the sharpening station. That's the order everything's in. So now we need to come up with the borders around these holes so that the 3D part doesn't go right into our holes. So I'm going to show you how to do that on this one right here. Here's our 2D view. All I do is, that's highlighted already, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make sure that these numbers are on here, and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to unclick that, and I'm going to add, I want 150 thousandths all the way around this thing, so I'm going to add 300 to each number. So 8.2 is going to be 8.5, and 3.155 is going to be 3.455, and then, so all I did was this. If you notice, it didn't do it evenly around there. So all I do is I'm going to click on that outer one. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so we can see better. That should be good enough. So we go to our little tool we saw over here earlier. Boom. And we're going to go left to right. And then I'm going to close this, highlight this, and it should snap to about center around that other. There you go. That's all you do. So once again, you're going to do this 6 times around every one of those rectangles that we made for the other stones and things we're going to put in there. So now we're going to go to the final project here. 3D view, modeling. We're going to go to you get your 2D view here and your 3D view here. Now if you noticed, you draw a rectangle out here. It's just like when you're doing a V-carve, you're trying to do an inlay or something and you need it to cut a certain way, you draw a square around it and it'll change it. Now what we're doing here is we're making our 3D is going to go from the edge of these outer squares that we drew to that. So here's our final project, and we have, I'm going to show you what the toolpath looks like before we start messing around with this stuff. So we go here to toolpath and reset the preview. Let me make this bigger so we can see it. Here we go, and we're gonna just look at all the toolpaths real quick. Preview visible toolpaths. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so now I'm gonna go here. We're gonna mess with this stuff, and I'm just gonna show you how I came up with it. So you click up here to get both of these toolpaths up here. And now to highlight all of this outer one, and now we go to modeling, go to 3D view. This cut right here, this is the way that we want it to cut, and I'll show you the difference here in a second. You change your angles up here with that, and this should, see how it changed? It's crazy looking. We want this to go around 0. So basically all I did was play around with this till I got what I got. So basically, I messed around with all these things here, and you just kind of get what you get. That's kind of closer to what I had. You kind of get, say if you like that, then you'll hit apply. Then you're going to come over here to 3D roughing toolpath, and it's a 2.5 end mill. That's going to go to the edge of the material. 0.01 offset, so we don't do anything crazy off the edges or anything. That's it. Let's see what we get. Okay. We'll reset this preview. I'll make it bigger so make it bigger so we can see it better. Preview toolpaths. Pretty cool. And so now you just go to this one here that says 3D Finishing Toolpath. You hit that, and it comes over here, ball nose. We got a 1/4 inch ball nose that we're going to use. We go to the material boundary. All this other stuff stays the same, and we say calculate, and then it says 4 hours and 40 minutes, and that's pretty close on that one. I will preview the visible toolpath. Pretty cool. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can go to a smaller ball nose, and we'll do that on these toolpaths here. We'll go to this one again, 3D Finishing Toolpath. We'll select a smaller tool. We'll go to an 1/8 of an inch. Hit OK and calculate. Of course, it takes a lot longer to calculate because it's a lot more going on. It's going to be a way longer toolpath. Okay, and let's see how long this one's going to be. 18 hours and 30 minutes. It would probably be about. It would probably be a good 10-hour run. This stuff is an estimated, and it's not right. So let's see what it looks like. You can barely tell the difference. It would probably be a lot smoother, and you might have a little bit less sanding to do. But do you sand for an hour, or do you wait for a 15-hour toolpath to get done before you sand? So basically, I think I covered everything on here. So we'll go over this with you one last time before we go back out to the shop. And this thing is pretty cool. Let's go to the toolpaths. And all I did there was highlight all the toolpaths. We'll preview the toolpaths. Sweet. So all I'll do is I'll save these. I'll go up here to this little save button right here, and I'll save each individual toolpath, and I'll give it the same number. I'm gonna name them 1 through 6, and then roughing and finish. That's all I'm gonna do, and I'll put those on a jump drive, and we'll go out to the computer, and we're gonna make this thing. So we're back from the computer. I have all the toolpaths on this jump drive right here. Now you'll notice a couple things. I took the dust collection off of here for 2 reasons. One, people like watching the spinny thing spin, and the other thing is I was afraid that the dust collection boot was going to hit the material because I'm doing some pretty deep cuts on this, so I didn't want it to interfere. So that's another thing to think about. Just because your model says everything's going to be cool, you still have things like your dust collection and clamps and things like that to worry about that could interfere. So what we're going to do is I've already found X, Y, and Z on this thing. If you need a tutorial on how to do the handheld controller or review on this machine, I've done one, and I'll put a link up there. So all we like now is starting this thing up, starting some music, and start to cut. Here we go.
I was worried you blowed my reputation, but I figured it's not on me. Yeah. The way you're making me shiver, your hands hands on myself, I keep pulling the trigger, alright. This red finger for people like them. Oh, nah, nah. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky, oh. It's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good, oh. But I'm pretending it's not my fault. No, no, no. The way you make it make glitter, you drink me like liquor, keep painting the picture, alright. No, I don't care much for people like them. Oh, nah, nah. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky, oh. It's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good, oh. Around me like a borderline. Our fortress in the jungle, baby, we're alright. We don't care much for people like them. We don't care much for people like them. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky, oh. It's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good, oh. But I figured it's not on me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The way you making me shiver, your hands on myself, I keep pulling the trigger, alright. This red finger for people like them. Oh, nah, nah. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky, oh. It's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good, oh. I keep on falling astray from my intuition, but I'm pretending it's not my fault. No, no, no. The way you make it make glitter, you drink me like liquor, keep painting the picture, alright. No, I don't care much for people like them. Oh, nah, nah. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky, oh. It's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good, oh. in the jungle, baby, we're alright. We don't care much for people like them. We don't care much for people like them. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky. Oh, it's the way you make me feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good. Oh.
So here's the Sharpening Station done. I've been wanting to do one for a long time and I'm totally happy with this one. There's a couple of things to note on this build. When I was programming for the holes for these blocks to sit in, what I did was I came out here and I got some MDF and I practiced on the MDF first because I wanted it to be a real good fit. And it's a good thing I did because it took me 2 tries. And then the other thing was, this was a total of 10 hours of cutting, and I did it all in one day, and the spindle never got hot. Of course, it was only like 80 degrees outside. I had the air conditioner on, and I would check the water to see if the water was even hot, and it was like lukewarm water. So that's the benefit of this Laguna IQ, is it comes standard with a water-cooled spindle, and that was exactly what it was for long runs or production runs, and it worked like it was supposed to. So if you have any comments or questions or concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If it's something that I can't handle, I'll have Laguna's number in the description below. And we'll see you next time, and y'all be good. See you next time.
I was worried you broke my reputation, but I figured it's not on me. Yeah. The way you